My birth name is Katerina. Family are Jewish. They really didn't believe in the Jewish religion. Searched to find religion because I didn't know religion. So I did look into Christianity a lot. It's one, but there's three. But it's Jesus, but there's one God. Like you know, when something just doesn't make sense, no matter who I asked. And my best friend at the time, she became Muslim. I was like, Allah, Allah. She said to me, do you know that Allah just means God? That was the moment it clicked. My birth name is Katerina. So clearly I'm a Reva. I chose the name Kalila. My family are Jewish, but we didn't have a religious upbringing at all. To put it into perspective, they eat pork, they drank alcohol, we celebrated Christmas. So they really didn't believe in the Jewish religion. Looking back now, I felt a lot of shame around it. So it wasn't something that I ever spoke about. We were just English, really. And when I was around 13 years old, my grandfather passed away, and he was the closest person in my life. I wasn't, at that time, I didn't have a very strong relationship with my parents. They were a lot older than me. My mom had me at the age I am now, which is 37, and I have a 16-year-old. There was a lot of disconnect. There were a lot of things going on in my family life behind closed doors where I just never felt like I belonged anywhere. And I was that person in school that just got kicked out of every classroom for talking. And my teachers would say to me over and over again, you're a bright girl, but you are going to ruin your life. You're going to throw your life away. You will never get anywhere because you talk too much. And I literally sit here today and I get paid very well to talk. I just got fed up of being kicked out of all the classrooms. Again, I just really didn't feel like I belonged. And I stopped going to school at 14 years old. I just stopped. I was in with drug dealers. I was out, like from 14 years old, I looked a lot older than I was. I started promoting nightclubs. When I say outside, I was not in the house. I just was very lost. There was a lot of situations that, looking back, I mean, my son's 14, he's a boy. And to think, I look at him, I'm like, you're a child. But I thought I knew it all. And that path led me into the music industry. And the more I was working in the hip hop industry, I started to get pushed onto the stage. So then I'm 15, 16 years old and I'm hosting a lot of celebrities. And it became to the point where, you know, we'd have artists flying in, Ghostface Killer, and I'd be hosting them. So that was my life. And I just fell in love with the industry, but there was something missing. And I think a really huge thing when I was around 18 years old that I began to notice is a lot of these artists, when they're on the stage, you're talking your big rappers, the girls are screaming. They can get any girl they want, even the not good looking ones. They can take their pick. But when the lights went off, when the day ended and they'd go backstage, they'd be turning to alcohol, they'd be turning to drugs. And I noticed that a lot of them were almost numbing a sense of still not belonging, even though they're living their dreams, even though they got money, they got cars, they've got women, which is what they want. They've got fame, success, but there was just something missing. And I remember being 18 years old and just thinking, there's got to be more to life than this. And ultimately that is what then sent me on a search to find religion, because I didn't know religion. A lot of my friends were Christian, so I did look into Christianity a lot, but I couldn't get around the, but there's one, but there's three, but it's Jesus, but there's one God. Like you know, when something just doesn't make sense, no matter who I asked, I could never find an answer. And my best friend at the time, who I was staying with, we were living in South West London, she became Muslim. The moment she told me about Islam, I believed in it. But for me, I was like, Allah feels foreign. And there was a sister, actually one of the sisters from Poetic Pilgrimage, Sakina, who was a friend of mine at the time, said to me, do you know that Allah just means God? That was the moment it clicked. A lot of reverts you'll find, when they're looking into religion, Islam is like the least one you'd ever think of because it feels so foreign. The women are covered, they're quiet. I'm loud, I'm on stages, I'm in the club. And it wasn't something that I would consider. But when she became Muslim, I saw her fall in love with herself, learn respect for herself as a woman, things that we are not taught in the West. The self validation that she got from reading the Quran, and just, she was determined, by the way. She was like, you are going to become Muslim. And she wouldn't stop for about a year. She was telling me hadiths, telling me again and again and again. And eventually, Allah, God, opened my heart and I really understood, yeah, this is what I was created for, to worship one God, and Muhammad is the final message.